Welcome to this fifth edition of ThingsCon. We like to share a little bit the backgrounds of this whole theme and where we are now. It's time for a system reboot. It's really the leading theme, the bold statement that you can see everywhere. It's the fifth edition, so in the Netherlands, I should say. The first one was, of course, in Berlin. There were two more in Berlin, and we started also in 2014 with the first edition. You see Peter Beer here on stage doing a talk there, kicking off that. And it was a very small event then, with less than 100 people, I think, here in this room. And it grew over the years to what it is now. Still, it will become much crowdier even during the days. And we have a nice glitch. No, and this was the statement we came up with a couple of years ago. We think that ThingsCon is really important to foster the creation of human-centric and responsible IoT. That's what we stand for. And what we do is organize a lot of events, so mainly, but also do other stuff. But Peter will talk about his things about in policy making and that kind of stuff. We try to do research together with universities, and we do a lot of events. This is in the Netherlands. If you look at the website, there's also a lot of other events around the world. Tomorrow, Peter will go more into that in detail. So for now, I only want to share a little bit from what we see happened last years in IoT and what we think that's this year the main theme. This is some slides I also used last year, so maybe if you were there, it sounds maybe familiar. The first year we had kind of one of the speakers said, well, it's all about the Internet of Christmas gifts, and that was also a little bit the feeling. So IoT was really something that still was just something to buy with Christmas, to give like a gadget, to give away. And you see that grow into more and more. Oh, this is very interesting. The Internet of Things is go.
Yeah. It's easier for the AV team.
Yeah.
Okay. No, this was the. You put it now on the others. Yeah, go on. So do the slides later. No, but the next year we had this products with apps. You see a lot of products that were connected to an app, and that was the Internet of Things then. So that was really not what we think is nice with the Internet of Things. And the year after we saw it more becoming real products. Like we had this Fike dolls then, and it was really a nice way to really enhance products in that. And last year we saw the first signs of that IoT become more like something like a default feature of of the things we use. So like this jacket that Google made, or a bike from Mauve. That's not that one, but it's becoming more part of everyday life from everything. So what's happened now? What's this year all about? That was a question, of course, we ask ourselves. Well, we have a lot of discussion about privacy and things that happen. So that's also something we will discuss. We were discussing last year because it was really coming up then. But I put some other kind of things in here that happens more like, well, we see that in the all kind of things that people start wearing kind of devices that help them becoming more strong, becoming more things. That's more the positive side. We see new kind of things. It's really what I'm also in Delft researching on, this new kind of citizens in the city, like these kind of things. What will happen when the whole of the city is crowded with this kind of things? And the other side, we see that brands and cities are really matching and in our lives. So this is the Google sidewalk of the Toronto Sidewalk Labs that's done with Google, and there's a lot of discussion, why should Google be building our city? And that are the big questions, of course. Living as a service is a thing that people a lot tend to use now as a theme. This is a project of made by an insurance company even. This street is really adapting to the people that walking there. So if there is a lot of people there, then the crossing will become big, and otherwise it will be smaller, and it will react on people that walking there. It's really adapting to our life. And that's also something I think it's good to share, especially what we're also discussing. There's a lot of discussion about what's the role of tech. Tech is so much integrated in our lives now. It's part of the society. What does that mean for us? So that's something we take as a basis for also this discussion. So Marcel will do some dark thoughts now.
Yeah. I'll make it dark and pessimistic for you. That will be my role. Actually, when we were sitting together earlier this year, or even like late last year, about so what are the things we want to discuss at ThingsCon? So what about IoT? Where's this category moving? And as Iskander was explaining, there's already kind of like there's a lot of intentional developments happening. But what stuck with me throughout the year even was something that happened at ThingsCon last year, and it was Rob van Kranenburg. Who had a statement in his presentation about the Next Generation Internet Initiative of the EU. It wasn't about that, but like his presentation was about it. And he had a statement, and he said the kind of systematic change we need never happened before in human history, like upgrades like to completely new systems without blood or war or breakdown. And this is what we tried to do. Well, thanks, Rob. That's a very heavy statement for us, but it makes you think. And this kind of stuck with me. And watching the news, watching tech news, watching, societal developments in general, we see that technology has this very profound impact in the way how we are organizing our economy, organizing our society, organizing our relationships, organizing our education. And I was thinking, if this is what we're up against, if we really need to think about new systems, then it's time for a system reboot. And that's what we, and that's what we collectively thought of. This is what we want to bring to the stage. So what we tried to do this year in the program is to curate a very diverse group of perspectives on potentially a system reboot. So how do we educate people? Like educate students, educate the next generation of makers to reimagine systems to work differently. How do we design systems? How do we know that we can trust them? How do we make them transparent? How do we make them reliable? How can we entertain ourselves in the future without knowing that we're being followed or play part in some kind of surveillance state of political influence? These are heavy topics maybe to discuss. And I know that like the program has a lot of fun and a lot of positive engagement, but I hope this question, how can we make a system reboot? How does it look like? How do we get there? I hope this question perpetuates through the event and through the talks and the workshops, and we'll have that discussions in the breaks. And I'm looking forward to Friday, to tomorrow, when we have our drinks and we won't have an answer, but at least we know what we're going to do next year to make a system reboot happen. So, moving forward, to use the words of Dries, who will be here any moment now, don't complain, suggest what's better. That's what ThingsCon is about. We're not here to complain, we're not here to paint dark pictures. I'll shut up right after this talk. But we should think about how can we make change happen, and let's imagine how we can do this. Let's explore the role of IoT, how connected devices can be made better, and how connected devices can make us better and can make life better. So to be more respectful for our human rights. To this end, well, Peter, I assume you're going to talk a lot more about this later. Yeah, it's a thing. But to this end, one of the initiatives that spun out of the ThingsCon community that we're really excited about, completely have to give credit to Peter to making this happen in collaboration with Mozilla, the Trustable Technology Initiative, which now allows people companies to actually get their products and their services, get like a label, and really build this kind of story around technology that we can trust. One of the things we can really be proud of as a community, and really looking forward to see this happen. Actually saw it yesterday being written, yeah, but Cory Doctorow yesterday wrote an article about it on Boing Boing. Yeah, but you know, that's a big thing. Yeah. So, ThingsCon. I'm excited to be here again, or not here again, because the first time in Rotterdam, but to be at ThingsCon again, to bring it to my hometown, to your new hometown, actually. Monique is like the last Amsterdam person on the team. I think we should ditch our Twitter handle, no longer ThingsCon AMS. Really excited about this. We had a couple of PSAs, but Monique already gave them. Like, this is our schedule for today. We're running a bit behind schedule, but we'll make up for that. You know, who needs coffee anyway? So yeah, you already said this. The first workshop was stated wrongly, and we had 2 room changes for the workshop Designing IoT Engineer. It's in room number 5, not number 6. And the same goes for the workshop Computer Vision and IoT. And get your workshop ticket. It's behind the coffee bar. It's you know, basically around the coffee bar. There are a bunch of posters where you can find your workshop ticket. Cool.
Okay, let's start.
So let's start.